listening to Radicast 1980X. I'm Adam Dravian, and with me is...
Jessica Safron.
We're the creators of a webcomic called Satan Ninja 1980X. I write the comic.
And I co-write it and do all the art.
Satan Ninja is heavily influenced by all of our favorite 80s media, especially movies, so when we're not working on our comic, we watch a shitload of stuff from the 80s, and that's what we'll be discussing and reviewing for this podcast, and we're doing 3 movies this time.
Yeah!
But it's not going to be super long like our last episode.
No.
The last one was like double length. This one is going to be short, to the point. We just want to cover these 3 movies in brief. The first movie we're going to talk about is...
The New Kids.
The New Kids. 1985 thriller, right? Thriller, horror?
Oh, yeah.
Teen
It's
thriller.
a thriller. Teen thriller.
Directed by Sean S. Cunningham, who is known almost exclusively for directing the first Friday the 13th movie. After that, after Friday the 13th, you know what he did?
What?
He directed that piece of shit film, teen comedy, sex comedy movie, Spring Break. Do you remember that?
Barely.
So, like, these 2 guys go to a resort in Florida and gets overbooked, so they have to share a room with, like, these 2 guys who are cooler than them, and those guys kind of take them under their wing to...
I think I was drawing the comic while you watched that, and I just kind of, like, half paid attention or something.
You didn't miss anything, because that was so awful.
It seemed
was a terrible movie. Yeah, it seemed like a non-movie.
Yeah.
I can't believe that there was a notable direct...
I think I remember a scene where some girls played some music or something in a band.
Oh, yeah, and she's wearing, like, a full-body spandex suit.
Yeah, she wore some,
cool.
like, a weird outfit, and that's the only thing that I remember from that movie.
Yeah, no, that movie is awful, Spring Break. And then after he failed with that, well, I don't know, maybe it was a success. I have no idea. It was a piece of shit. But then he went back to horror with The New Kids, which stars this dude named Shannon, who looks a little bit like Kyle Reese.
Yeah, like,
I kept trying to think of, like, where have I seen this guy? And it turned out that he wasn't in anything else.
No, this is the only movie he was in, other than some, like, made-for-TV movies. I guess this movie just didn't take off or whatever, and he was like, oh, fuck that, I'm done with movies.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess, like, as soon as you said Kyle Reese, I was like, maybe that's it? I guess they both have those wide, crazy eyes, a little bit. I don't know.
Michael Biehn.
Yeah.
His real name, but I can't not think of him as Kyle Reese. Like, every time I've seen him in anything since, it's always like, hey, it's Kyle Reese. It also stars Lori Loughlin, who, in the 80s, she was the friend chick in the movie Secret Admirer. But most people know her as Becky from Full House.
Not me. Never watched Full House. Screw Full House.
Yeah, it's a terrible show.
It seemed
but
like...
I watched it, like, every day, because
it seemed awful.
I was a terrible teenager, and I just watched everything that was on TV.
Ugh.
Another movie she was in the 80s was The Night Before, which is one that I remember liking a lot when I was a teenager, but I haven't seen it since, so maybe it's terrible. It stars Keanu Reeves, came out in the late 80s. I'm sure we'll watch it.
Okay.
So, The New Kids is basically about this brother and sister. They are trained by their military dad. You know, the opening scene is like a big montage of them working out with their dad, running, they're having a bunch of fun, they're a loving family. And then, parents die in like a car accident or something, right?
Yeah, you forgot this very important part where the dad spanks his teenage daughter's bottom.
Wait, like in a, like, way to go,
He's
like football camaraderie spank? I don't remember that.
He's waking her up. She's, like, in bed, and it wasn't, no, now I remember. It's not just that he spanked her butt, it was that he said something like, yeah, get that sexy ass out of bed, or sexy butt, or something. He actually called it a sexy butt. And I thought that was a weird...
She's a sexy chick.
Yeah, but it was her dad.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
But then he dies, so you don't gotta worry about it. He's dead.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It was fine, I guess. I wouldn't say that
What was fine? His death?
No.
The movie? What was fine?
The
the spanking? Sexy
spank.
butt?
I guess that was okay. I guess he didn't deserve to die. I don't know.
Oh, and the dad was Tom Atkins, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
A cult legend.
Maybe...
Because he was in The Fog,
Yeah.
the beloved Halloween 3, everybody's favorite Halloween movie, and Night of the Creeps. Those are the 3 movies I know him from.
Yeah, the first 2 of those, he I think in both those movies, he gets with hot ladies or something, right?
He got with Jamie Lee Curtis in The Fog, I think.
But you wouldn't think that he would be a man who's always being cast as a guy who gets hot ladies.
Well, I wouldn't know. I'm not going to judge Tom Atkins.
Yeah, not my type, I guess. I
guess not.
Sorry, Tom Atkins.
So if you're a big Tom Atkins fan...
Or if you're a big fan of this.
Then you could check out The New Kids, where you can just see him in the opening montage and he's dead.
See him spanking a sexy butt.
Yeah, there you go. And then you could just eject the rest of the movie. But
nah.
What happens after their parents die is these poor, now orphaned teenagers, they go move with their goofy Uncle Charlie down in Florida.
They're kind of wealthy.
I meant poor as in unfortunate, not poor as in monetarily.
I knew what you meant.
Okay. Good one.
Shut up.
So they move to Florida, and everybody knows that Florida's a piece of shit with crazy people.
They have oranges, though.
Okay. Oranges.
Dolphins?
Dolphins and gators. Yep.
Yeah.
I lived in Florida for 1 month in Sarasota, and everything there is like teal and decorated with dolphins and seashells.
Is it like
and palm trees?
Teal and coral pink or something?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you describing it that way. Yeah, I've never been there. Never been to Florida.
Oh, my ex-girlfriend lived there, so I stayed there for a while. And the weather's great, lots of storms. Anyway, so they go to Florida, and they go to school in Florida where they... Lori Loughlin, what the fuck was her name in the movie? I don't know. Lori Loughlin, I'm just going to call her that. She ends up meeting really super nice guy Eric Stoltz in one of his early film roles.
He's a nerdy dude.
He's like a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But not in like the internet nice guy way where he's like hoping
Maybe he is.
He seems like a genuine nice guy.
Well, only because she was receptive.
And of course, Eric Stoltz went on like...
If he wasn't, he'd get all crazy on her like someone else did in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Eric Stoltz, that's the same year that he would have been Marty McFly, but then after a couple weeks of filming, they're like, you're not funny enough, we're getting Michael J. Fox in here. Which is a good call, because I don't think the movies would have been quite the same with Eric Stoltz. I like Eric Stoltz, but he's not... I don't know, doesn't fit that character enough. And then he went on to be Mask.
Oh, yeah. That was
good.
You
know, good for him. Nobody's going to ever recognize him from Mask. But he's in it. And then, of course, he's the Jesus-looking dude in Pulp Fiction. You remember?
Oh, my God.
Did you not know that?
Wait. No, I was thinking of something else. Sorry.
Such a reaction.
Yeah. Never mind.
He's the Jesus guy who injects...
Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. Okay. Whoa, that was Eric Stoltz?
Yeah, that was Eric Stoltz.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Anyway,
So Eric Stoltz is the nice guy moving in on Lori, and Lori's receptive what?
You should probably specify that that he was in Mask and not The Mask, because a lot of people... don't know
Eric Stoltz was not in The Mask. He wasn't Jim Carrey. He was Big-Faced Man.
Yeah.
With Cher.
Yep.
The drama, mid-'80s drama film with Cher and the dude with the big deformed face. Wow, that was Eric Stoltz.
I didn't realize that was an 80s movie at all. I just remember it from my childhood or something.
Yeah, I saw that when I was a kid too. It's sad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't tell people how sad it is.
It's fun.
Yeah. You want them to
Speaking of fun,
okay.
Lori ends up pissing off James Spader, the school psycho. And he has a group of thugs. They're all psychos.
They're not all as psychotic as James Spader.
No, James Spader's the head psycho, of course, because it's James Spader and that's his thing.
He's so good at being a kind of slimy, scary bad guy.
Yeah, he's a very slimy, scary dude.
It's a slimy, scary teenage bad guy. I don't know. Did he play a lot of slimy bad guys later?
I don't know. Like, I'm thinking about his later roles, and he
just became a nerd.
Are you talking about
Stargate?
Yeah, Stargate. That's what I always think of. And then he was in this one where he's an S&M guy with the secretary. I don't remember what that movie's called. Anyway, so James.
Wait, is she like a secretary for like an S&M service?
No, it's like this dude and his secretary. They end up getting in like an S&M relationship.
Oh.
So James Spader is all super pissed off that Lori Loughlin doesn't want to date him, and so he starts terrorizing her.
Yeah.
And her brother starts fighting all those dudes.
He's like instantaneously the worst guy and super scary. Like, as soon as
Hey, you want to go to the dance with me?
Yeah.
No, why won't you go to the dance with me?
He's so creepy when he asks her to.
Maybe you'll regret it, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the brother fights back against James Spader and his goons, and then they start terrorizing the siblings, like killing their animals and stuff.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The siblings are living in an amusement park that's currently in disrepair, and they're trying to fix it back up so they can reopen it and hopefully make money for their uncle. And James Spader and his goons keep sabotaging the place, and the whole movie ends with a big violent confrontation at the amusement park.
Yeah, it escalates so crazily, too. Like, they start out with, like, oh no, they graffiti and, like, I don't know, TP the place or something. I don't know, they did, like, you know, normal vandal stuff. But then
it gets crazy.
Yeah, then it gets way crazy. But good thing these kids had such a great military upbringing, because they're badasses.
Yeah, then
and nobody knows that.
It actually had some good fight scenes in this movie. Like, I enjoyed watching the brother, Shannon, whatever the fuck his name is, like, beating up these goons.
I enjoyed seeing him sneak into James Spader's house and, like...
And hog-tie James Spader while he's wearing, like, a Speedo, or whatever the hell he's wearing.
Yeah, and he's, like, super threatening and scary and, like, oh no, the tables are turned. This can't end well, though, because there's still, like, a bunch of movie left.
It actually reminded me a lot of Class of 1984, which...
Oh, man, I liked that a lot more.
Yeah, it's like a not as good version of Class of 1984.
And I don't know if I'd say that.
Why?
Well,
you have,
I get what you're saying.
Okay, well, Class 1984 revolves around a teacher in conflict with violent students, so it doesn't have that dynamic at all, because there are no teacher main characters.
And the students are so crazy. Like,
in Class of 1984.
Insane, yeah. Like, the whole time. It doesn't, like, escalate. I mean, it does escalate, but they start off, like, all being pretty horrible.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a way toned-down version of Class of 1984. Class of 1984 is an awesome movie. Confusingly, it came out in 1982, but, It's and the posters show the characters like decked out like they're punk, like kind of like
I kind of wish that they were
post-apocalyptic punk rockers or something, but it's not like that at all. It's very misleading.
It might as well be.
The movie it looks contemporary, but the teenagers in it are like just over the top insane.
There's some punkers in it, I guess.
Not like what the posters show. The posters are very misleading. That was very notable to me when we were watching it. Yeah, it's a cool poster.
But yeah, everybody should see that movie instead of The New Kids.
Yeah, that movie's awesome.
Yeah, Class of 1984. But yeah, I think it would have to, like, involve a teacher. to
be like The New Kids? Okay, but...
To be like Class of 1984.
Sure.
I see what you're saying, though. They're both teen thrillers.
Well, I wouldn't say Class of 1984 is a teen thriller, though, because the main character's a teacher. He's not
exactly.
a teenager.
So it's a thriller. They're both thrillers.
I'm just saying that one calls to mind the other. When I watched The New Kids, I thought about Class of 1984.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm not saying these are the same movie.
No, yeah,
it's not the same plot.
Yeah.
But it's like teens going crazy that need to be dealt with in violent ways.
Sure. Yeah.
They're creeps.
Creeps.
As Death Wish 3 would say.
Right.
Teens becoming creeps and need to be put down.
They were always creeps.
You don't know what they were like when they were little?
Creepy.
Yeah. Creepy little fuckers.
Uh-huh.
Okay. How about ratings? Satan Factor. Drugs and violence. James Spader's like a drug addict. There's some brutal violence toward the end of the movie.
I don't know. It's not very satanic.
Yeah, not very satanic though. Ninja Factor. There's Shannon sneaking into James Spader's house and tying him up and stuff. Kind of ninja stealthy.
That is ninja-like.
A little bit of ninja-like stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So 80s Factor.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole heck of a lot of 80s stuff going on.
I think it seems like a very 80s movie.
It does seem like a very 80s movie, I guess.
It takes kind of the 80s teen movie genre, but then has the thriller type spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the characters, they're dressed very 80s.
Are they? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
I've become blind to it, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a new movie in, like, years, probably.
They're not dressed in, like, over-the-top 80s style, but it's definitely... It looks like an 80s film.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can only get so, like, with the times when you're filming in, like, an out-of-the-way place. They're always, like, at least a decade behind with the fashion and whatnot.
Right. Like Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know, when does that take place? In, like, 2000-something? But it looks like it could be the 80s just because it's so...
Yeah, 2004, I think.
Yeah, it's in the past. Mm-hmm. Or it seems like it's in the past. They're just, like, behind, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, people who live in... the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
If you care about fashion.
Boob Factor. The sheriff's daughter actually has a nice set on her. The chick that Shannon's love interest, but there's no like TNA in the movie. I guess
no, she's like showing off her boobs all the time, like her cleavage. I mean, the sheriff's daughter. She's really hoping that the main protagonist dude sees them.
Right, and Lori Loughlin, doesn't have much in the boob department, but she's a sexy chick. And
yeah, she's really pretty.
Yeah.
But does that count toward Boob Factor?
Yes, boob factor is basically like sexiness factor. That's what it's always been.
All right. But boobs foremost, I guess, right?
Of course.
Okay.
That is what's most important.
All right. Anyway.
Overall rating for the new kids.
I don't know, like 3.
It's 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
I agree, 3 out of 5. It was a good thriller, teen drama.
Sure.
And it had some moments that were like, hey, this is actually really good stuff. It's mostly like pretty blah.
Right.
But it had some great moments.
Yeah, sometimes something would happen and I'd be like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah,
whatever,
it's always great to watch James Spader be a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And there are some surprisingly like gruesome deaths in the movie.
Yeah, I was so happy with that climax.
Yeah,
good.
But
Nice
it's
payoff.
only in the climax. Most of the movie is not very gruesome, so if you're watching it because it's like, oh, it's the guy who directed Friday the 13th, and you're expecting something along the lines of that.
Well,
it's
I mean,
not
there
really.
are like some adorable animals that get brutally slain.
Off screen.
Yeah, but you see how fucked up they are.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it is. It was very sad.
Okay, and the next movie we're going to talk about is, big change of direction here, the Care Bears film.
Yeah.
Or the Care Bears movie.
The Care Bears movie.
Which also came out in 85 and may possibly be the first movie I ever saw in theaters.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the Care Bears movie, it's about these bears that live in the sky. They live in clouds.
They live in heaven.
They live in Care-a-Lot. Okay?
Heaven.
And they spy on humans to find sad humans that they can go down and force to be happy.
Wait, do they have to be lonely too? Because I think, like...
Well, yeah, they focus on lonely kids.
Yeah. Kids who need...
They're like a Big Brother program, but they're little bears.
Yeah.
Right? They're little bears that live in the clouds.
Little bear bros.
They have insignias on their tummies. If you're not familiar with the Care Bears somehow, they
Holy
were
shit.
originally a greeting card marketing campaign.
Wait, yeah, you don't have to be, like...
Okay, most people might not
Yeah.
know that they were originally greeting card mascots.
Right.
But that's what they were, and then they eventually branched out into selling stuffed bears.
Yeah.
And then
Probably
they made
sold
a movie.
like hotcakes, right?
Now,
Oh man, because
What?
you know, it's ingenious whenever you have like collectible stuff like that. You know, like oh man, you got to get all the insignias. You know, I don't know, collecting all of the totems in a pantheon or something.
yeah, they are kind of
People love to do
pantheon-like
that.
because they
Yeah.
kind of have different realms that they have dominion over. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm Grumpy Bear, and I am the Master of Sadness.
Yeah, I think
or
that
Sleepy
there's
Bear,
something
or
that-
whatever, Jack-Off Bear. I
Yeah.
don't know what. They're bears for everything.
Yeah, I think that there is some part of the human mind that is really drawn to stuff like that, you know, like ever since ancient times. And that's why the Care Bears are so successful. And My Little Pony, you know, shit like that.
Okay.
I bet.
Now, a notable thing about this movie is that it was the second film produced by this Canadian animation studio. Do you know what their first film was?
Oh, man. Oh, this was done by Nelvana, and they
Yes.
did Rock and Rule.
Yeah, which is a way better movie than the Care Bears
Yeah.
film.
Oh, we
and
gotta
way
do
different. It's like
Uh-huh.
such a shift of directions.
Yeah.
Like this podcast.
Uh-huh. Yeah, still about anthropomorphic animal people, but
Yeah,
better.
just to sum up Rock and Roll
No,
for...
wait, we should
What?
do an episode on rock and
Yeah.
roll. It's pretty sweet and pretty 80s and pretty satanic.
Okay, yeah, we'll
So-
do an episode on Rock and Roll. It's a post-apocalyptic story about animal people, and it has rock and roll and Satan and stuff. We'll talk about that another time.
Oh man, it's so cool.
Yeah, so then they went from that, because that movie was a failure.
Yeah,
And
sadly.
so then they ended up making the Care Bears film, which was a huge success.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's too bad that rock and roll couldn't have ridden on the coattails of the Fritz the Cat success. I wonder if that's what they were trying to do, and then they were like, oh no. Yeah, I guess they just, I don't know, realized that was never gonna happen again.
What?
That, you know, adults loving this. I don't know, wait, was Fritz the Cat successful? I don't even know. I know it's famous.
It had a cult following. I don't think it had like a big mainstream success.
Yeah,
or
but like
anything.
people know what Fritz the Cat is. Nobody knows what rock and roll is.
I don't know.
Well, then they did an animal people movie for kids, which of course is gonna work out a lot better, I think.
And the basic plot of the Care Bears film is that there's a couple lonely kids that the Care Bears are trying to make non-lonely, and then there's one kid who is a magician's apprentice. He's like, I don't know, he's sad that he's not a better magician or something.
Oh, he said that he has no friends, and that's exactly what the Care Bears are waiting for.
Oh yeah, they love to find
friendless kids.
Yeah, who are just really jonesing for some friends. So this little fucker, this asshole magician kid, he finds this evil book. Mm-hmm. He opens it up and there's like a face in the book that is all seducing him toward the dark side. Mm-hmm. And then he goes so evil so fast and so willingly. He's so like okay with like, yeah, I'm going to rid the world of happiness.
Just like the kid in Extra.
I'll get them back.
Evil as soon as he gets any kind of power.
Yeah, power just corrupts kids like instantly, I guess. It's like the message of these stories is don't give a little kid superpowers.
Yeah, they're so moldable, you know.
Right. So the Care Bears, they're trying to stop this kid in his evil book from ruining the world by destroying happiness. So during the course of the movie, somehow the Care Bears are building some transportation machine, and a couple of the kids get transported to this crazy forest that looks like Candyland. Mm-hmm. Where there are not just bears, but there are other creatures that also care.
Yeah.
And they love hearts.
How did they not know each other?
I don't know, because they're separated by a river that the Care Bears end up sailing down for like one day, and then they discover this forest of other Care Bear-like creatures, except they're the Care Bear cousins.
So they must have...
So they've never explored this river? They've never gone over to this woods?
Yeah, their lineage must have become separated at some point in the past. Like, they must be related, though, you know, because they end up being cousins.
Yeah, so it has the Care Bear cousins. There's the lion, and a raccoon, and a penguin, and a bunch of other guys.
So one branch diverged into all sorts of other creatures.
Yeah, they're very diverse, and but the Care Bear branch, they were very insular.
They didn't evolve.
Very xenophobic.
Shit. Yeah.
They were like the Japan of the cloud nations. Right?
They're like the North Korea.
They're like Kerala is the North Korea of the cloud world.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Japan was pretty closed off for a good while.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what I want to say about the Care Bears movie. We watched it. It has music, and I hated the music.
Hey, whoa, now.
It had baby Care Bears that I hated.
Listen.
What?
When those credits started rolling,
yeah,
I saw Harry Dean Stanton in the credits, and I got all excited, like, who the hell did Harry Dean Stanton, of all people, play in this movie?
Why are you excited about Harry Dean Stanton?
Because it was weird for him to be in the Care Bears movie. I don't think I've ever seen him in, like, a kid's movie ever. I mean, he's been in movies with kids in them, I guess.
Harry Dean Stanton, for anybody who doesn't know, he was the dad in Pretty in Pink.
Okay, that's like the one other kid's movie. I guess you could call it a kid's movie, maybe.
What he was...
It's a teen movie.
Was he a mechanic guy in Repo Man?
He was the main Repo Man.
He was the main Repo Man.
Yeah.
Well, if you say the main Repo Man in Repo Man, people are going to think of Emilio Estevez.
No, that's the Repo Boy.
Okay, that's the Repo Boy.
Yeah.
All right. So the Repo Man title you think is referring specifically to Harry Dean Stanton?
I think it's referring to the profession.
Oh, yeah. That's probably the case.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
So Harry Dean Stanton's one of those guys who's like in everything, but the only people who actually know his name are movie buffs, because he's not really someone that stars in things.
Alien? He was an alien.
Was he an alien?
Yeah,
I forgot
an alien.
He was an alien,
and he was a dad. He played a dad in Red Dawn, and that's a lot of not very Care Bear like movies. However,
in Care Bear,
yeah. In Care Bear, it turned out that he did the singing voice for the lion. What is it, Lionheart? Braveheart?
No, Lionheart.
That's what I said.
That is what you said.
Holy shit.
Well, when I hear Lionheart, I think Van Damme. And I thought you were saying that, but shit, I don't know what the lion's name was. Lion.
Was it Braveheart?
It might have been Braveheart Lion. Maybe every Care Bear cousin had heart in their name.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Like Treat Heart Pig.
Yeah. Which is one of the inspirations for Snacky Love.
Yeah,
the pig in our
Snacky
comic.
Love Pig is what I said that his name had to be.
But it's just Snacky Love.
I made that name. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's his short name.
Okay. His short name's Snacky.
That's his shortest name.
Okay.
So he played the singing voice of the lion one.
Yep.
And I thought maybe that makes sense because in the was it in the extra features for Repo Man? I think there was a weird interview with Harry Dean Stanton,
who seems like a very grumpy man.
Yeah, he seems like
He's very bitter. Yeah, he's like an asshole.
Dick, but also a really weird guy. Like, a really, really weird guy. And, like, at some point during the interview, like, toward the end, he just, like, busts out an acoustic guitar and starts singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat with the interviewer.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, well, he must like singing children's songs. Guess it's a perfect fit. I don't know.
Yeah. So, Satan Factor for the Care Bears movie.
Oh, man. This is way more satanic than the last movie.
You think because of the evil book?
Yeah. I mean, it was written in, like, Viking runes and stuff. I don't know if they adopted Christianity. So, could have been all about Satan.
It was about trying to destroy the world's happiness.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty
Satan
satanic.
Likes happiness, though, doesn't he?
He likes partying. He likes sex. He likes dancing.
Yeah.
So maybe Satan wouldn't be for this.
Yeah. I don't know. It felt really satanic.
Yeah. How about the ninja factor? I don't think they're really...
Was there a ninja bear? Ninja heart?
Yeah, there may have been a ninja star heart bear.
Shrieking heart bear? I don't know. They did a Care Bear stare that was kind of... That's like their martial art. Their one martial art move.
Yep.
It's pretty supernatural.
Blasting people with their tummy beams.
It's not very ninja-like. I guess maybe it's like the magical aspect of ninjas.
They basically are care rapists.
What?
They force care onto people by blasting them.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yep. Care rapists. That's pretty evil.
That is evil.
It's kind of, I guess that could go under Satan Factor. 80s Factor, it's the Care Bears, which were super 80s.
Wait, maybe... What? I don't know. They're pretty sneaky. It's pretty ninja-like, right?
I don't know. They're brightly colored.
Yeah,
they have big insignias.
But how come nobody knows about them?
They're invisible except for the little kids, maybe.
Man.
I don't know.
It's just like ninjas.
The movie doesn't say, but you just have to imagine.
I think only little kids can see ninjas.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Boob factor. Let's move on from that. The overall rating, I'm going to say, was... one? 1 out of 5?
Weren't
2?
There
maybe
boobs?
2. I'll give it 2 out of 5.
Are you sure there weren't any boobs?
There were clouds, which are kind of, like, round.
Yeah?
I don't think there were boobs. I don't think there were boobs in the Care Bears movie.
There were a lot of mammals, so there must have been a lot of mammary glands.
I don't even think there was a single adult. Like, there was the magician.
It had a pig.
He is an adult guy. And then there was like the kids when they're grown up. Oh, there were no boobs.
The boob
factor is non-existent for the Care Bears movie.
Look, all these bears and shit, they must have so many nipples. I mean, I don't know how many nipples a bear has, but I think, we
have moved on to the overall rating. So. And I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 stars because it did have a little bit of cool stuff in it, but it was mostly a very hard to watch film for young children.
Nah, I'd give it 3 stars.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I would.
All the music?
I don't care. I think I liked how much you hated it. You're such a, grumpy guy.
You're going to take that into account for your rating? Like, my reaction to the film is going to influence your rating on...
It depends.
That makes you a terrible critic.
No, I liked how over-the-top, sweet, darling it was. It also brought back some weird non-memories that I have of watching the Care Bears a lot when I was a kid.
Okay. Well, fuck that movie. And the last movie we're going to cover is Private Resort. Also from 1985. It's one that I watched Jessica mostly didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah, Adam's like, our next movie we're going to watch is called Private Resort, and I said, no, I'm not going to watch that instantly, because it just sounded so much like too many movies that I ended up just, suffering through that were just fucking awful.
So Private Resort is a sex comedy from 85, has the same director as the dude who did My Tutor from 83. Yeah. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, wait.
It had Crispin Glover.
I was going to say, was the one with Crispin Glover? He's in it for a second.
No, he's not in it for a second.
No, yeah, he's in it a little
character.
bit, but he's not in it a whole lot.
No, and that was not a very good movie.
No, but, it had some enjoyment to it. It was not on the same level as Private Resort, which immediately made me think of things like Private School and Hard Bodies, because that was a shitty beach movie. Let's see, what else?
Beach Girls.
The Beach Girls. Fuck, the Beach Girls, so bad.
So Jessica's not a fan of the TNA slapstick comedy trying to get laid genre.
Right? I don't know. It depends on how it's... I mean, there are some that are competent and, actual movies.
Okay, which one of those movies did you like?
Revenge of the Nerds.
Okay.
That was good.
So that's like the one teen sex comedy.
Oh, wait, are they teen? Oh, yeah, I guess they're just going to college. There've got to be some others that are pretty good.
Zapped?
Man, Zapped was a piece of shit, but it was way better than so many. Like, I had some fun watching Zapped, you know? It was so fucking stupid, but I enjoyed it. I mean, that one, like, the kid gets, like, powers and stuff, you know?
Stupid powers.
Stupid-ass powers, and, but
yeah,
it was
Zapped was
fun.
terrible.
Yeah.
The chick in it, like, definitely seems like the Veronica archetype.
Yeah.
So that's like
There's
the most that it relates to the comic.
Yeah, and there's like an Alex archetype in it too.
Well, I don't remember there being an Alex.
The friend character? Or like she's a school reporter or something?
Oh yeah, the school reporter girl. Wait, now I'm thinking of My Science Project.
Yeah, I know. It's like exactly the same thing, isn't it? Or
Did
am
they both
I
have
thinking
dorky school
maybe
reporter chicks that
I thought that they did. I don't shoot. Was she a reporter in Zapped?
I don't
think
know.
she might have been. Whatever. Okay. So
yeah, I think she looks in the window and sees like wacky shit going on in the science lab.
Yeah, very similar. I liked Zapped better than My Science.
Oh, speaking of Zapped, Scott Baio, right? It stars Scott Baio and the guy
Scott Baio gets powers.
And the dude from Charles in Charge that's like his wacky friend. They like have the same dynamic in this movie. It's the same two actors.
Huh. I've never seen Charles in Charge.
Yeah.
I've never been a big sitcom fan.
No, well, sitcoms in the 80s were terrible. Maybe we should do an episode on sitcoms in the 80s or something.
I'll have
just
nothing to say. Okay, so that one had a kid with powers, and Revenge of the Nerds, they all basically like had some kind of power. Some kind of mental power.
Well, Revenge of the Nerds was actually like a competent, well-done movie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It seems like a real movie. A lot of these, like Spring Break, just seem like such thrown together pieces of shit.
Yeah, but like those don't even try to have a gimmick. It's just like guys on a beach trying to look at girls and maybe they'll get lucky or something.
Yeah, they're really like bottom of the barrel, not even trying. Just like here's an excuse for like girls in bikinis with the occasional titty shot, and like there you go.
Or like every other scene or every other shot is a titty shot.
Yeah, which as much as I'm a boob fan, these movies can be hard for me to watch, and Private Resort was definitely a piece of shit film that I had trouble sitting through. Like, I actually fast-forwarded through a lot of sequences, because it was filled with slapstick, like, chase scenes, and, like, just the most groan-worthy humor, like, written by an 80-year-old man.
Yeah, and I called that, too. I was like, I wonder how old this writer is, because this
Well, I don't know how old he actually is, but he's definitely an old guy.
No, you found out that he was an old guy.
I found out that he exclusively wrote sitcoms from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And then,
that's what it felt like. Some guy who did that. And
so really outdated sitcom humor with tits thrown into the mix. But the reason I added it to our queue is because it's like the first film that Johnny Depp has a starring role in.
Yeah, and Adam was like trying to get me to watch the movie with like only that as the perk. It's like,
only because I was hoping it would be a hidden treasure. No. You never know.
Oh, I knew. As soon as you said the name of the movie.
Just because the name's Private Resort doesn't mean that it can't be good.
No, it does mean that.
Okay.
I knew it. And like I was like, okay, no, I'm not even gonna. Sometimes I'll, if I'm not very interested in a movie, but I kind of still want to like feel like I watched it, which does not happen very often, especially not now that I've come to realize that it's super annoying to do this. But I'll play the movie on like a corner of my other monitor in my dual monitor setup. And so like Adam will be watching it and I'll be like glancing over at it. But this time I was like, no, fuck that. I don't want to be anywhere near this movie. I'm going to put on headphones, like, and you can just watch it on the TV and I will just skip it. But I saw like the beginning of the movie and that was all I needed to see. And yeah, pretty much like what you said. The one part that stands out in my mind is like there's this little annoying fat kid who's just going around the private resort trying to trick girls into showing their boobs or like doing little boob peeping pranks and stuff.
Like using a pole.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna bring up. Yeah, using like a fishing rod to fish hook a girl's top off, which is just terrifying for me. Like, oh man, I'm scared of needles. So it's like, this is annoying and terrifying. God. But yeah, trying to like take off the girl's bikini top with a fish hook and stuff. Or
oh god, what was that really grown-worthy line that the kid had where he like looked at the camera?
I blocked it out. I blocked it out of my memory.
It was one of those things where he breaks the fourth wall and like looks at the camera and says something really grown-worthy. I don't remember what it was. We actually haven't seen these movies in a while. We just thought we should cover them because we had seen them.
Right. So yeah, all three of these we saw a while ago.
Yeah, we're going on faded memories here.
Well,
maybe I shouldn't admit that.
I don't have any memories of this movie except for that. But I did ask you like just a day or two ago, who should I look at when I'm designing Dean's mom in the comic? And Adam thought of an actress from this movie, but she's in a much more famous movie.
Yeah, she's known mostly for being the hard-ass, busty, blonde police instructor from Police Academy.
Yeah. But the picture that I've been using the most, because she's in kind of like a nightie, a see-through nightie, which I still don't think I'm gonna make it see through in the comic. Maybe I will.
I think you should, because it looks like she's wearing like like I said, an X-Men type outfit with it's like all white, and if it's opaque, it seems like it should be see through.
I'll at least make it somewhat see through. There are so many boobs like in this scene in the comic, like naked,
continue
giant
the trend.
Boobs. Like,
but these are different. These are fake tits.
Yeah, they're fake tits.
We haven't shown fake tits in the comic yet.
You know, past her prime mom lady or whatever, you know, the archetype. So yeah, you said based around that lady, and so I've just had like this tit lady up as a reference for a few days now.
Tit lady.
Yeah.
Actually, she signed a contract, according to IMDb's trivia, that she would only show her ass in the film.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting and terrible.
Yeah, and so there's a scene where Johnny Depp's hiding in the closet, and he is peeking at her while she changes, and her back's to him, and you can see her ass. You know, she has a very nice body. And then she changes into this nightgown that's completely see-through. And apparently she didn't realize it would be as see-through as it is, because, like, there has such bright lights on set that you can totally see, like, her tits and everything, and she didn't realize that would be the case. But if you watch the movie, it is, like, such an obvious see-through gown. I can't imagine...
transparent.
Yeah, I can't imagine that she did not know that you'd be able to see everything.
Well, you know, it could have been like a situation where she realized it as soon as she put it on, and she's like, fuck, what do? I guess I'll roll with it. Like, she just happened to be in a mood where
it could be they badgered her into wearing it, or she got drunk enough where she agreed to. I don't know what the situation is, but she did, you know, ends up showing her tits in the film.
Yeah.
Leslie Eastbrook, that's her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it features Andrew Dice Clay in like kind of a cameo role, and I've always liked Andrew Dice Clay. Even
man, I feel so bad thinking about the possibilities for like them getting her to show her tits like in the see-through gown. It just man. I hope that it was a nice
hopefully
situation.
She didn't give a shit about
it. I hope so too. I mean, she showed her tits and other stuff, right? At least.
I don't know.
Still, like, I at least hope that they paid her more than she agreed to or something.
So the very basic plot, as much as there is one, is that Johnny Depp and his buddy are on this resort in Florida. It's a private resort, and they're there for the weekend trying to get laid.
Yep.
Meanwhile, there's this bumbling jewel thief who's trying to steal a diamond from this old lady. And so the plots kind of intermingle where it's
kind of Pink Panther-like.
Yeah, very Pink Panther-like. And the jewel thief's girlfriend is the, middle-aged bimbo girl played by Leslie Eastbrook. A lot of hijinks ensue.
Man, a
lot of stupidity ensues. A lot of stupidity ensues.
Yeah, one of the most painful things that I saw, of the very few things that I saw in this movie, was like when these ladies in the beginning of the movie would get their tops yanked off like by creepy kid, the looks that they'd give, like the looks on their faces after this happened would just be so like, whoa, oh my gosh, like,
I don't know, because I wasn't ever looking at their faces.
And then it would like show the shot of them reacting for a super long time. They'd just be like frozen with like their mouth hanging open, just
well, yeah, you need time to examine the results.
If they're like surprised or anything, like they wouldn't be just like thrusting their chest out going, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I My breasts are completely exposed.
Because they like it. They want guys to try to get them topless.
No!
So they can show off what they have.
It was so dumb.
All hot girls want to be naked all the time.
No.
It's just that they need a little coaxing to get them
Holy
to do that.
shit, no.
Yes.
Oh, it was so painful. I hate it.
Okay. Well, I hated it too, but for reasons very different from yours. I like the TNA aspect. I hate everything else. Even though this actually had some competent actors in it.
I think there's a lot of overlap in our hatred, Adam.
You think so?
Sure, I think that's the only aspect that we would probably differ on. Like, I don't care if there's a lot of boobs in a movie, but man, those were just too stupid. The boobs were too dumb. The way that the boobs happened in the movie
was just too dumb for you, huh?
Too dumb.
Okay. Well,
I mean, well, sometimes it can be so dumb that it's good, but this was in that spot where it was actually bad.
Right. Well, let's rate it. Private Resort, Ninja Factor.
God. Oh man, that fat kid.
Yeah, he's doing stealthy bra removal, or not bra, but
bikini
top removals.
Mm-hmm.
There's some aerobics going on that's kind of athletic. There's like a scene with there's a couple scenes with aerobics chicks doing that stuff. 80s aerobics.
Adam, that's
maybe we should have 80s aerobics factor because that's such a recurring element in 80s movies.
No,
but it doesn't relate to our comic. Although it does, we're gonna have 80s aerobics chick in our comic,
and we have me 80s aerobics chick in the. I'm not doing aerobics though. I'm just in an aerobics
yet.
Outfit. I mean, they're also for dancing and stuff like that.
Aerobics video next time.
Yeah. I gotta do that.
Yep.
Okay. No, there are no ninjas in this movie.
There's a thief.
Yeah.
That's half of what a ninja is. Sure. I guess a ninja's an assassin, but they can steal stuff too.
Okay.
He's trying to steal a jewel.
Sure.
He's a terrible
Whatever.
ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, 80s factor.
This
is
ninjas of all time.
Very 80s movie. It's filled with 80s chicks in 80s bikinis, very high-waisted. You got 80s chicks
But then it's all brought down by the 60s sitcom writing.
But the look is very 80s.
Okay.
You have the, like we mentioned before, the aerobics.
Yeah, pretty much anything with aerobics or swimsuits that is from the 80s is going to be incredibly 80s.
Yeah,
because
you
those
have
were
80s hair going on. You have Johnny Depp going on, which I guess people don't generally associate him with the 80s, but
yeah, like those swimsuits and stuff. You know, that's pretty good timestamp.
But yeah, terrible humor.
Terrible.
Boob factor. There are a lot of tits in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's
very high.
If you just want to see like a few seconds of tits and then have to sit through a lot of awfulness and then see a couple more seconds of tits and then more awfulness, this is the movie for you. But it was hard to stomach the like if you like really stupid humor and you like really stupid slapstick and you like boobs, then this would probably be your favorite movie of all time.
We liked Evil Dead too. They had a lot of slapstick in it.
Yeah, but it was done well. It was actually funny. It was
it had like horrible things going on, like horrible in a great way.
Yeah, it was just you just can't look at one ingredient. You can't just say like it has slapstick, therefore it's bad. You have to look at the way it's mixed into the rest of the stew.
Sure, although I do know.
And Evil Dead 2 was a great stew.
Yes.
Private Resort is not good stew.
Yeah, but you do like to say that you hate slapstick a lot, but you know I don't.
I do
about
usually,
Evil Dead
but
2
sometimes it can be done well.
When you say that, usually.
Yeah. So overall rating for Private Resort, I would say is 1 out of 5.
0. No, I'd like never give anything a 1. I guess I should give that a 1. No, I've given things a 1. The worst things, like this. All of these movies, I would give. I mean, all of these that type of movie, I would give a 1 to. It's awful.
Okay, we'll call the episode here. If you have any questions, comments, or anything, you can get in touch with us through our website, satanninja.com.
And make sure you read the Satan Ninja comic while you're there, because it's the best one. It's the best comic.
The best one.
The best one.
Jessica recently reread it from the start.
Yeah.
And now she remembers how good it is.
Yeah, it's been a while since I read it. I never thought that it wasn't the best comic. But it was cool to read it again. It's just because I read it so many times, like, periodically I'll, like, read it over and over again, you know? But then, yeah, this has been, like, the longest stretch that I've gone without reading it, I think. It's so good.
Yeah. So you can go to our website, you can read our comic, you can contact us, and we'll be posting more podcasts soon.
Yeah!
Bye.
Bye.